It's for all, Prof. Anyone can join.
I
Just
see.
register. They will register in the link.
Yeah.
Then you can just participate. And we provide also certificates. It's a recognized certificate and certified by the University of Kuwait as well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Prof, we are now live on YouTube. We
Right.
start now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Dear lecturers, professors, professionals, students, my brothers and sisters, this is my honor to welcome you all to this another special session entitled Waqf Innovation, which will be conducted and presented by Professor Dr. Raditya SUKMANA, inshallah. So we would like to thank you very much for joining us in this program. In fact, this is a part of our events and also lectures, a series of lectures that Islamic Economics Association Nadil Iqtisad al-Islam bi Jamiat al-Kuwait conducts every week, and we normally conduct more than 9 programs in Arabic and English as well. So this is a part of the events uh, relevant to Islamic banking and finance, Islamic microfinance, Islamic insurance, Islamic capital market, Islamic equity market, and the features and Sharia principles of Islamic finance and nature of contracts and products, services provided by the Islamic banks and institutions. So this is our privilege, Nabil Iqtisad Islami's privilege to have you all in this kind of programs and series of lectures with us. So today we are very much honored to have Professor Raditya SUKMANA, who is very much popular and also very much a specialist in this field in Waqf and also in other fields. So this is my honor to welcome Professor Dr. Raditya SUKMANA, who is the head of Islamic Economics Doctorate Program, Faculty of Economics and Business, Yarlangga University of Indonesia. So let me say a little bit about Prof. Raditya SUKMANA, who is um, a visiting scholar as well in Islamic Research and Training Institute of Islamic Development Bank, IDB. We call it IRTI IDB. And Professor Raditya obtained his PhD in economics from the International Islamic University Malaysia and Masters in Economics from the University, Georgia State University, United States of America. So Professor Raditya has lots of publications and also he conducted many lectures, and especially his professorship was from the Ministry of Research Technology, Higher Education Republic of Indonesia. And Prof. Mashallah has been awarded with many distinguished awards such as Distinguished Scholar in Islamic Social Finance Bank Indonesia, and the first international conference and call for papers Waqf and Economic Growth Universities and Badan Waqf Indonesia, and many more. So this is our honor to have Professor Raditya today to conduct the lecture on Waqf innovation. So I welcome Prof to conduct the session. Thank you, Prof.
Right. Thank you very much. Before I start, Dr. Mahyudin, can you open my camera on the other instrument? I have 2 instruments right now.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, now it's okay. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'du. Praise be to Allah Almighty. Salawat let us send to our beloved Prophet, Messenger, his family, and his friends. Thank you for inviting me, Dr. Mohyuddin, for sharing about Waqf, my experience. I also not only teach Waqf, but also I do Waqf. I am the Sharia advisor of the Islamic Cooperative, which conduct raising cash Waqf, and also we distribute Waqf, cash Waqf to the small medium enterprise. And I believe that this is important for our friends who are now within the small medium enterprise. So I want to share about my experience. So allow me to share screen. Okay. So the title given to me is I propose Waqf innovation in selected cases. Many of the cases which I want to discuss with you all is in Indonesia. Let's see whether I still have time to discuss one cases in other outside Indonesia. And I'm very happy that this afternoon many are coming from various countries in Africa. I've been to Sudan 3 times. I've been to Nigeria. I've been to South Africa, and many of them are talking about Waqf. So let's, for those of you who have never been to Indonesia, let me show you the map of Indonesia. Here's the map of Indonesia. See, Malaysia is here. If you can see my cursor, see, Malaysia is here, Kuala Lumpur. And just close to Malaysia, close to Kuala Lumpur is Aceh. Aceh is part of Indonesia. Aceh, if you remember a tsunami in 2004, a lot of people die in here, tsunami, because this is close to India, Sri Lanka. And then Jakarta is here, Jakarta, our capital city. And this is Australia. And we have 5 biggest islands. This is Sumatra, Kalimantan, Java, Sulawesi, and this is Papua. And this is Philippines, and this is Darwin, East Timor. And my place is here. So if you can see Surabaya here. Here, Surabaya, and this is Jakarta, capital city. So our population is 270 million, and around 85-88% are Muslim. Our GDP per capita is 4,000, and exchange rate is this much. And where is Bali? You know, Bali is part of Indonesia. Bali is just one island of Indonesia, and here is the Bali. Here is Bali. Next to East Java, where East Java is, the capital city is Surabaya, where I'm here now in Surabaya. So it's 45 minutes to go to Bali. Bali is actually just one island out of many beautiful islands in Indonesia. So if you come to Indonesia, not only go to Bali, but you can also go to other places than Bali. Right, so this is East Java. Okay, let me show you the Waqf, the data on land Waqf Indonesia. If you see these numbers, 400,000 locations, big and small, remote and strategic position locations, right? And this is for the size 4.1 billion meter squared. Such a huge land of Waqf land, but it's not combining into one side by side. That's the problem, and I think it's also impossible for that one. So this amount of Waqf land is spread all over Indonesia, like I said, in the remote area and also in the strategic area. And full license Waqf land is this much. Full license means that it got license from Ministry of Land, right? Ikrar has to be done before it. Ikrar, I donate this as a Waqf, that is Ikrar. Ikrar has to be done first. And after that, the certificate has to be known by the Ministry of Land, and the Ministry of Land will issue the Waqf certificate. That's for the positive law. the Ministry of Land. So this much, and not fully licensed this much, and our president is asking to speed up the process into the fully licensed certificate. Okay, the potential Waqf Indonesia, we are the largest. Many of them are mosques, right? Money, the utilizations of the Waqf land is for mosque and also for educations, funeral, and others, right? Now, for the last, I think, yeah, let's say 5 years, 3 years, our government, our president, and also our ministry is strongly committed to develop Waqf land and other type of Waqf. This January, national movement on cash Waqf was launched by our president. So in this context, we appreciate to our government that our government now is very much supporting on the development of the cash Waqf and other type of Waqf. But in the mind of the people, right? Waqf is 3M. Madrasah, masjid, makam. Makam is in Indonesian language, but it's a funeral, it's a cemetery, right? The development of Waqf is pretty much behind the development of Islamic Bank, the development of zakat in the context of Indonesia. But the potential, the contribution towards the economic development by the Waqf is very huge. But the people right now understand Waqf is 3M. That's why our government, our National Waqf Board, and our colleagues in the academicians now is developing the Waqf, not only in the teaching, but also in the practical experience. We innovate together with the other. This is what I want to talk. The current practice in Indonesia, although the people still recognize Waqf as a 3M, but now Waqf has been developed in such a way that it can collaborate with the Islamic Bank, collaborate with the Islamic Cooperative, collaborate with the Ministry of Finance, collaborate with the Islamic Capital Market, and also collaborate with the Takaful company. So if Waqf develop alone and not collaborating with the Islamic financial instrument, I believe the development of Waqf will be very, very slow. But once you collaborate, once you make the innovations, collaborations with the other Islamic instrument, then the development of the Waqf grows very fast. I believe some of you, many of you have been visiting Masjid al-Haram. You know, okay, I just want to try to write down in the chat. Try to write down in the chat. I want to give you some questions. One question. What is the name of the tower just next to Masjid al-Haram? What is the name of the tower just next to the tower? Next to the Masjid al-Haram, I mean, in the Makkah. Write in the chat. I just want to know whether you have visited that tower. Clock tower, yes, but it has a special name. What is the name of that tower? Please do so in the yes, I don't know whether the participant can open mic or not. You just write in the, no, it's not Safwa.
Yes,
Any of
probably.
you?
You can also switch on microphone, no problem.
Oh,
If
okay,
someone-
okay. Yes, you may, for those of you who raise hand, you can open your mic and just mention, yes, Murad Kayachan, you are right, Zamzam Tower. It is called Zamzam Tower, right? Now, my question is that in the Zamzam Tower, just to let you know, Zamzam Tower is the productive Waqf. That is productive wakaf. But my question is that which part in that Zam-Zam Tower is wakaf? Which part? Is it the building or other asset? For those of you who raise hand, you just open your mic and just answer my question.
Yeah, I see John for Brother Ali.
Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Yes, just answer me quickly.
The Waqf in Mecca, it's the land only.
Right. You are right. You're right. This is in the chat also. Hazria Hassan, you are right. The land. The Waqf within the Zam-Zam Tower is in the land, not the building, because the building is supported by the suku. And we know suku is the instrument within the Islamic capital market. Right. Imagine that in that locations, the land is already wakaf, but the development of the land is not collaborating with the Islamic instrument. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to develop a hotel. That's why when the suku was launched, issued, very fast, it gets fully subscribed by the investors, right? Fully subscribed by investor, and investor pay, and that is a suku intifa. Suku intifa means that the investor can have like 23 or 28 years to stay in that rooms, because once you are a suku holder for suku intifa, then you are allowed to stay I think few days within a year in that hotel, because when you hold the suku holder, I mean, when you hold the suku, you are actually owning the room for a certain time, right? So that's why suku, wakaf right now has to be collaborated with the Islamic financial instrument. That's why for those of you who are in the university, please do so to teach our student the collaborations, the innovations of wakaf with the Islamic financial instrument. Because what? Because we need a human resource who understand finance. So in order to develop wakaf, we need to understand also finance. We need to understand, we need to teach our students the knowledge of financial portfolio, right? We need to equip the student with the knowledge of feasibility study in order to make assessment the certain wakaf land is profitable if we utilize as what? As a hotel, or as a rental office, or other type of business. That's the thing which the student has to do and has to able to make a feasibility study. So the wakaf industry, it opens a various kind of expertise, not only for us in the Islamic economic discipline, but also it can be supported by those of the students who are coming from the accounting background, because how to write in the journal, in the balance sheet about the wakaf asset. So we need expertise from the accounting. Information technology, very important. Waqf blockchain. If you click Waqf blockchain in the YouTube, you'll see my explanations about the Waqf blockchain. So that's why I just want to bring to us, to all of you who are here, that when we introduce Waqf to our students, please also make them aware that Waqf is not 3M. Waqf can be combined with the other financial instruments. Okay, let me continue. Now, this is my experience, Waqf for fishermen. Dr. Mohiuddin, what time for my presentations?
Is 1 hour, Prof. Then total duration is 1.5 hours. Like
Oh, okay.
maybe
So
1 hour lecture and then half an hour for question and answer.
okay, I
Or
try
as
to
you like.
right because in Surabaya right now Maghrib is 5:20, so 1 hour from now. So I try to finish by like 30 minutes or so. Then we have a question and answer. So Waqf for fishermen. This is I just discussed you earlier that this is very much important. Not only the fishermen, but fishermen is just example in my experience, but it can be done for the small, medium, and enterprise. So here's my city, Surabaya, right? So the location which I want to discuss, the location of the fishermen is somewhere around this area, here, somewhere here, right? This is Madura Island. So this is actually the initial idea is that that project is coming from the community service from my campus, University Airlangga. So my campus is strong in promoting Waqf. In Indonesia, the Nazir can be done in the university level. So this is Pusat Pengelola Dana Sosial is Puspas is within the University Airlangga, and we are the first Nazir in the university level in Indonesia, right? Unlike in Malaysia, where Nazir has to be in the government side, in the government side, but here can be in the university. Although my university also public university owned by government. And Waqf research and other activities are very much accommodated in my university. And the community service which I conduct is for fishermen, because we are close to beach and there are many fishermen there. And the community service is jointly conducted with the BMT Muda. What is BMT? BMT is Baitul Mal Watamil. It is Islamic cooperative. So it is like Islamic microfinance institutions. IMFI, if you recall on the journal normally, in the paper in the journal, it is called Islamic microfinance institutions. It is an Islamic cooperative, and in Indonesia, we call it BMT. Mal is for social, Tamil is for business, regulated under Ministry of Cooperative. Whereas the source of funds is coming from the members and also from getting a channeling from the Islamic Bank. Financing is for micro, small, medium enterprise. So BMT Muda also got a license. Okay, let me just skip this one. This is the website of the BMT Muda. Okay, this is the locations of the fishermen. This is the beach, and this is the houses. So this is the conditions. A lot of fishermen nearby Kenjeran Beach, Surabaya, who need equipment for fishing, right? The store, right, to sell the equipment is in downtown, far from Kenjeran. That means the fishermen need more transportation expenses because they are on the beach and the store is in the downtown. Time and energy, right? So the fishermen established association of fishermen, right? And this Islamic cooperative, BMT Muda, where I'm here as the Syria advisor, helped to establish another Islamic cooperative called Koperasi Bahari, stands KB. So whenever I say KB, it stands for Koperasi Bahari, which is established by BMT Muda. And this KB sell equipment nearby beach, the location exactly one of those houses. So it's just next to the beach. So BMT Muda raises Waqf funds to help KB, right? So here, this is KB, right? And this is BMT Muda, right? BMT Muda, because it got licensed as a Nazir, BMT Muda can raising fund cash Waqf. And cash Waqf give financing to the KB, right? What is how does KB utilize the cash Waqf is for this one. This is the equipment for fishing. This is the equipment. This is the store. This is store. Equipment for fishing, right? For fishing. So with this, the fisherman doesn't have to go to downtown to get the equipment. This is, if you go, all the equipments for fishing, net, rope, solar, I mean, not solar, oil for boat. You see, they have to go with boat, and all the equipment are here. So the fishermen can easily just get the equipment from here and go for fishing. So they don't have to go to downtown. So this is the financing. The first time a BMT Muda give financing to the KB is Kordul Hasan for 10 months. Bulan means months. This in Indonesia, I forget to translate into English. So it is a $4 million or roughly is a USD 350 for 10 months for working capital to KB to put a net, rope, and so on in that store. It was successfully done. After 10 months, then this KB want to get the financing from BMT Muda. The contract is no longer court, and it switched to Musyarakah with the 10 million, right? So double from the first one. Maybe you ask why the first financing gift is Kordul Hasan. Well, the idea is this. KB is just newly established. Don't put pressure on them to repay back to BMT Muda with profit. Don't do that. Instead, give them a chance first because they are newly established. Okay, BMT Muda give financing Kordul Hasan, just repay back the principal, right? This is to give time for them to do business in the Koperasi Muda. And once 10 months has been elapsed and they want to get more financing, okay, you are now can stand on your own feet. Now you cannot get the Kordul Hasan anymore. Now it goes to Musyarakah and so on. So that's the thing. Even if that's the process. The first, you may give a Kordul Hasan, and later on, once it's success, you can give other type of financing. Or even maybe for those of the small medium enterprise, if you give directly financing to the small medium enterprise, you can give financing to Kordul Hasan first. But maybe before that, if you think that this small medium enterprise is eligible to get a zakat fund, give a zakat fund, but make sure that it goes for productive, right? For those of the young men who are still asnaf zakat, young men who wants to learn, who wants to work, right? Don't give them zakat in the form of food because they are able to work. For those of the people who cannot work, like the old lady, sick, not lady, the old woman, the sick person, give them food, give them medicine. But for those of the young people who wants to work, give them zakat because they are asnaf as a miskin, masakin, but give them productive, let's say laptop for them to work, right? And so on. So this is the picture of the store, just a small store, just a small store. But this very much helped the fishermen around that area because the fisherman doesn't have to go to the downtown. So this is very much help the fishermen. So the fishermen can get the equipment and pay later, right? Can get the rope, can get the net, and then pay later once they sell the fish, right? So the fisherman make an installment to KB, KB then make installment to BMT Muda. BMT Muda, part of the profit goes to Waqf Alai as beneficiaries. And this is my picture. This is me, right? And this is the seller in that. So this is Waqf Alai. This is the old woman And also this is to subsidize for the Quranic teacher, right? So those are all the students are free to get to learn Quran, but from that profit from productive Waqf goes to subsidize the Quranic teachers, and also for mosque renovations. So these are all the important. There is, okay, what is the advantage? Easy for the farmer to get equipment because it's just next to the beach. Improve the local economy, get rid from the loan shark. Before that, there was a loan shark, higher margin, very burdening to the fishermen. And then fishermen get the equipment first and pay back once the fish is sold, right? Ensure sustainability for the Waqf Alai, no government funding. So let me continue this why the Waqf fund is important for the small medium enterprise. Let me just draw. I want to. Okay. Imagine that this is a BMT. BMT is the Islamic Microfinance Institutions, and this is financing to SME, MSME, micro, small, and medium. This is Nazir, that means eligible to get Waqf funds. So imagine that the BMT get the money depositors, not Waqf, depositors, right? Let's say depositors, of course, they put money and they want to get return, right? Assume that monthly equivalent, again, depositor, when they put the money in the BMT, BMT will distribute the money as a financing to the MSME. BMT, when give finance to MSME, normally, let's say 15%, 15% a year, let's say. Okay, and then 15% BMT, and BMT return back the profit to the depositors, let's say 5% per year. So 15 minus 5 is a 10%. 10% owned by BMT, right? For the operational expenses and so on, right? Part of the 10% can also distribute for social purposes, part of this 10%. Now, imagine that a BMT as a Nazir, they accept from Waqf, cash Waqf. They receive cash Waqf from Waqf. Of course, BMT, this is Waqf, use the cash Waqf for financing. Again, for MSME. Now, the question is, will BMT return back the cash Waqf to Waqf, the principal as well as the profit? The answer is no. Let me repeat. Will the BMT return back the principal of cash Waqf to the Waqf? Yes, if it is temporary Waqf. But if it is permanent Waqf, will the BMT return back the principal of cash Waqf to the Waqf together with the profit? The answer is no. If, of course, with BMT will not return back to the Waqf because it's already permanent Waqf. With this case, the financing rate that goes to the MSME can be lower than this one. If this one 10% is the net profit margin, in this context, we can design in such a way that net profit margin can still 10%, since we don't have to return back to Waqf and we can charge equivalent to 10%. So 10% and this is 0%. 10% minus 0 is still 10. Same with the first one. But what is different? The difference is that the amount of the money that has to be paid by MSME goes back to the BMT is much lower than the first one, right? So it gives benefit. It gives benefit to the MSME. It gives benefit also to the BMT, right? Because this also 10%, part of the 10% goes to the social purposes. So this is the good side of the cash Waqf, right? If you can accumulate the cash Waqf, for sure you will help the micro, small, medium enterprise, right? So this is the basic, the important of why cash Waqf in the context of SME, MSME in the Islamic microfinance is very, very important, right? Because in the context of Indonesia, see, our GDP is contributed more than 50% coming from the MSME, more than 50%, right? So that's why we need to also develop the MSME. How? By giving a chance for them to repay back the lower amount of money, because our source of income is a cash Waqf. Cash Waqf will give zero cost of fund. See, this is zero cost of fund. Zero cost of fund. Right. Let me continue. The first example is for the MSME. Now, another innovations of the Waqf is on the Waqf and Islamic insurance. Right. Now, I want to read this statement to give you some ideas. Let's say this is Brian, right? Brian is a successful young entrepreneur who manages his own coffee shop. So he has a business. His business is a coffee shop. Brian earns 15 million per month. This is equivalent to USD roughly 1,000 per month, right? He is a very good Muslim. He plans to create Waqf 90 million. This amount, imagine, his monthly income is 1,000. Can he able to donate Waqf 6,000? Yes, can. Of course, he has to maintain 1,000 for 6 months. It become 6,000. But how can he live? He must take some portion for daily expenses, right? So, in order for him to be able to donate cash Waqf, not donate cash Waqf, to donate 6,000, he has to buy life insurance, right? High life insurance with the regular contributions this much or USD 43 per month with payment until 5 years. So 43 per month times 12 and you get for 1 year, and times 5 you get for 5 years, and it become this amount 2541. This is for 5 months, right? The total contribution will be paid by Brian as this much for 5 months. For 5 years, right? While the sum assured will be equivalent to 200 million, which means this amount. Sum assured. If he die, then the ahli waris will get this amount. And the coverage period is 99 years. So Brian, according to our fatwa, Brian will Waqf 45 out of sum assured, this amount, equivalent to 90 million, equivalent to this amount. If he dies due to any clause during the coverage period, 99 years. So he is able to donate Waqf only if he buy the life insurance. By giving the life insurance, so the sum assured, which is this amount, 45 of this amount can be treated as Waqf under Brian. So this is, you can also, I'm not proposing this institutions, but I got this from these institutions. right? So this is a very huge amount of money, 6,000. If my friend, if let's say our friend asks us to donate wakaf, let's say $10, $5, $10, we don't think twice. Okay, this is my $5, this is my $10 as a cash wakaf. No problem, because the amount is small. But if our friend asks us, will you donate 6,000 as a wakaf one time? Well, 6,000 is very huge an amount of money. It's difficult to pay it once. Even if I'm able to pay, I will be paying monthly, which the total is 6,000. But for at once, it's very difficult. But with the Waqf and Islamic insurance, that amount of money, 6,000, can be paid at once, only after this Brian died, right? So this is very much, for me, is innovative. Now, the third one, in the context of Indonesia, is a Waqf of gasoline nozzle. This is very, very innovative. Okay, this is the map of Indonesia. This is East Java, where I'm living. Next to East Java is Central Java. Jakarta is within the West Java, but this is the Central Java. In the Central Java, there is a Islamic boarding school called Tazaka. Islamic boarding school called Tazaka. And Tazaka is, this is the Central Java, is located somewhere here, right? And established in 2009, and the founder is the alumni of Gontor Boarding School. Gontor is one of the very famous Islamic boarding school in Indonesia. And this Tazaka active role in empowering Waqf management, right? And one of them is Waqf Manfaat in the form of gas station host. So let me just explain what does it mean. This Tazaka is a Nazir, right? Nazir, they operate Islamic boarding school, or of course they have students. So there is one Waqif. This Waqif is a businessman. And this businessman, one of the business is the pump station, fuel station, right? It's the fuel station. And this Waqif wants to make a Waqaf dedicated for the Tazaka as a Nazir. But he doesn't want to donate all full stations as a Waqaf. But he wants only just one nozzle of his pump station, gasoline stations as a Waqaf on the date 1 and 50 date every month. So let's say this is the nozzle in which he treated as Waqaf on date 1 and 15 every month. So let's say now is 8 July. 8 July is within this date. So if there is a car, right? There is a car, stop in this gas station and then get this nozzle for fuel, then of course the Waqif has to calculate the profit out of this fuel for this car, right? The profit for this date. Let's say tomorrow on the 9 July, another car goes for this one, right? And the Waqif has to calculate the profit together with the profit because it's still a 1 until 15. But let's say in the date 20, another car get for this one, then it goes for not as a Waqaf, but it goes for the owner. It goes to the owner. So all the profit within 1 to 15 date within a month, they calculate, and then that is the Waqaf. That is the That is the amount given to tazakah. So the waqf is the nozzle itself. So whenever the profit obtained from the nozzle, it can be used by tazakah directly for consumptive purposes. Why? Because the waqf is the nozzle within the date 1 and the date 15 every month. So in this context, this can also be done in your case, in many cases, in your area. Let's say if you have an uncle who do a medical doctor. Medical doctor, of course, he goes for the general practitioner. Every day he open to give a facility to give prescriptions to the patients every day, and you earn money out of it. I mean, your uncle earn money, right? Your uncle can make a waqf. Let's say I want to waqf my profession, my expertise on every Friday as a general practitioner. So waqf on the profession, waqf on the medical professions every Friday, first week every month, let's say. So whenever the amount that your uncle get from issuing the prescriptions, you can directly send to Nazir and for the consumptive purposes. That can be done, right? Because the waqf is the profession. So waqf can be very much innovative, can be in any type of assets, right? So this is the nozzle. So this is the inaugurations of the waqf manfaat in the form of gas station hosts by the owner of management, Pondok Modern Tazaka, right? So I believe this is within the date 1 until 15 every month, right? And the fourth one is the cash wakaf link suku. This is not like, but link. Let me just write down link. Okay. Okay. By looking at this name, it has two instruments, cash wakaf and also the suku. Cash wakaf link suku, or normally we call it CWLS. Cash wakaf link suku. Right. What is this instrument? This instrument is, okay, let me go to this first. This is actually a suku. Who issued the suku? Issued by government, right? National Waqf Board buys suku using cash wakaf collected from the partners, right? So the suku is issued by government. The only entities which can buy the suku is only the Waqf National Board, National Waqf Board. This is the only entity which is eligible to buy suku. Other party cannot buy this cash wakaf, link suku, right? Proceed of the suku is for national budget. Part of it is for renovating the eye hospital in the Banten province, and this is the picture, right? So the building is actually the old building, and renovation, make a renovation with this cash wakaf link suku, right? So this is the process. We have Waqif here. Waqif is the one who donate the waqaf, and this is the agent of Nazir. Agent of Nazir is many Nazir institutions. They have their own Waqif. So Waqif donate waqaf to their own Nazir, and all the Nazir, all the collected Nazir. We can also have two types: temporary cash wakaf and perpetual cash wakaf. Right? These two goes to the agent of Nazir, and all the collected cash wakaf from agent of Nazir has to be sent as a cash wakaf to the National Waqf Board. Right? To the National Waqf Board, and this is the only entities which can buy the suku. SBSN is a suku. This is a abbreviation of suku berharga syariah nasional, but it's a suku, is a sovereign suku, right? The suku issued by government, and this nazir by, and this suku using the cash waqf, right? And then distribution of the profit sharing based on the agreement, right? Of course, why there is a profit sharing? Because government issuing suku. Suku, as we know, it's like in the conventional, it's like a bond, but it's different. Normally, suku is in the journal, in the paper, in the journal, in the publications. Normally, it states suku, but in some cases, it also stated as Islamic bonds, right? As Islamic bonds. So the one who issues suku actually is the one who need money. So of course, if it is conventional, it's like a bond. The one who issue bonds, then that means that entity is in need of money. So they have this entity have to pay the interest to the investor. Same thing with suku. So in Indonesian finance minister is representations of the Indonesian government is issuing suku. And so of course the government of Indonesia has to distribute the profit sharing. The profit share goes for this one, it goes for this one. The operational of this one is by the profit from the suku, right? The operational, like paying the doctor salary, operational expenses, administrative expenses, is from that one. So this is the combination, the combinations of the government, in this context, a finance minister, national Waqf board, also government, and also agent of Nazir, and this is a private. So it's a collaborations, private and public, which aim to develop the eye hospital. And this eye hospital is among the best one. The equipment is number one, so that people for cataract, they can get rid of cataract, and people who cannot see previously now is able to see. Now they can read Quran and so on. So it's very much helping those of the patients who have a problem on the their eye. So Waqf donate cash waqf. Cash waqf be sent to BWI, this National Waqf Board, which will buy sovereign suku, SBSN. This is via private placement. Government issue suku, pay profit share to the in form of discount paid at once when suku is issued, and coupon periodically. Same like the common suku as we know. Okay, I think all the example I given to you is on the context of Indonesia. I think I have like maybe this is my last case which I want to discuss, and after this we can have a question and answer. So Ben Colin Moss, Waqf Singapore. So this is also, again, this is an innovation, collaborations of Waqf and suku, and also suku. This is the old picture which I got from the Googling, from the Google. I'm not sure what year was this, but it is called Masjid Ben Colin in Singapore. It is located in the prime location. If you visited Singapore, there is Orchard Road. Orchard Road is the place where it's a shopping place, and this location, Ben Colin Street, is just next to the Orchard Road, right? So this is the previous one, and this is the current one. See, this mosque, and this is the mosque, and below this one there is a basement is used for the mosque as well. And this is a Somerset Hotel. Somerset Hotel is within the area, within the premise of the mosque itself. So Waqf Ben Colin Mosque is the Waqf is Omar bin Ali Al Junaid, died 1852. The mosque is to be used as a place of worship for Muslim and all Muslims. The net income received from the rental is to be used for maintenance of the mosque and the payment of the khatib, qadi, and bilal of the mosque. See, this is not only a mosque, but this one, if you can see on the left picture, which I draw, okay, on the left picture, this is, if you see my cursor here, this is actually on my drawing. This is a shopping, the shop which is rented. This is owned actually by mosque, but rented to outside. So also this hotel is actually within the premise of the mosque. So the profit from this hotel goes for the operational expenses for the mosque. This is their plan, because the number of people who wants to make salat here is getting increased. The space is not enough. Then they plan to move these shopping lots, these 2 floors on the left, to the next building. It become in this building, right? So this can be used for salat, right? And this is me, I think a few years back. Okay, this is the structure, right? They call it musyarakah bonds. I'm not sure why it is called bonds, because bonds is using interest, but maybe they have to use the musyarakah bonds to comply with the rules in Singapore, right? So this is bond investor, and this is the musyarakah agreement. MUIS Waris Waqf funds. And this is the service apartment in which they want to build. You see the Somerset and also the shopping lots, the commercial units and mosque, because the old mosque, you have seen the picture before, and they want to build a greater space for the mosque. And this is Ascot group, right? This is Ascot group. Now, this is the process. MUIS, this project needs this amount of money, this project, right? The musyarakah is by MUIS, Waris, and Waqf funds. How is the role of each? MUIS responsibility is to get capital as much as 35 million Singapore dollar. Waris can contribute in the form of expertise. So that's why in Singapore dollar is only 1, right? 1 Singapore dollar, but this Waris contribute managerial resource and capital. And this Waqf funds contribute the land itself. And the money, not much, 500,000 as compared to this one, 500,000 Singapore dollar. So they become a musyarakah agreement, right? So the responsibility of MUIS by 35 million is that this MUIS issue sukuk, which is later on bought by bond investor, right? So bond investor, this is musyarakah bonds. Musyarakah bonds give or invest buying the bonds as much as 35 million bonds, right? In return, the MUIS has to repay back the principal 35 with the profit return 1.06 per month, right? For 5 years, right? 1.06. So on top of 35, MUIS has to give the profit share 1.06 million per annum Singapore dollar. Where does this MUIS get this amount of money? Here's the case. The amount of money The total amount this much with this much is to be used for building the service apartment and this commercial unit and mosque, right? The good thing about this project is that this project, service apartment, it has collaborations, Ijaro agreement with the Ascot group. We know Ascot. Ascot is a group of hotel. They have hotel in the several city all over the world, right? So Ascot guaranteed fixed rental for the first year, 1.3 million. Guaranteed the fixed rental. The second and the 10th year, 1.8 million. So for these 10 years, the operations of this service apartment for the 10 years, the profit goes to Ascot, right? But Ascot has to pay Ijaro the first year 1.3 and the second to 10, 1.8. Look at the amount of money here. This is the amount of money that has to be paid by Ascot to this musyarakah. And what is the amount of money that has to be paid from MUIS to the bond investor? Is this much. So of course, this much is less than this much, 1.3. So this is the good way of the project scheme, because in this context, the first year, a bond investor already got the return because Ascot make a ijara for this one. So this is a good thing. I mean, this is, again, we have to remember that in the context of Waqf, risk mitigation is very much important. Imagine if there is no Ascot. How can MUIS able to pay the investor? It's very difficult. But when Ascot came and Ascot guaranteed the first year 1.3 million, it very much relieved the burden of the MUIS, because MUIS can get fresh money from the Ascot 1.3, and out of it 1.06 out of it can be sent to the bond investors, right? So this is the way, a good example that in order for us to develop Waqf, we need to think about the risk mitigations. And this is a good example of the risk mitigations. So service apartment will be operated by Waris, commercial and mosque will be operated by MUIS. And we have a profit here, profit, because this is 1.3 and this is 1.8, and MUIS has to pay this 1.06. So there is a different will be shared 70-30 between this one and this one. Yeah. So I think now is in my time 5:02. This is the Benkolin, see, Benkolin. This is the Orchard Road. What is the advantage? Utilization of domestic investor. It doesn't have to get the financing from others, get the loan from others. Bigger mosque to accommodate more people. The operational cost of the mosque is taken from the profit of the commercial property, and of course the multiplier effect of the economy. I think this is the end of my presentations. Very sorry that in my place, maybe in about 15 minutes, the Azan Maghrib will call, and I have to break my iftar. Thank you very much. I return back to Dr. Mohi.
Assalamu alaikum, Ustaz. Thank you very much, Prof. Raditya, for your wonderful presentation. And Alhamdulillah, we have seen some innovative and practical examples of Waqf, mashallah, in Indonesia, and also example from Singapore. So that's really a practical example, Alhamdulillah. So now we open the floor for a question and answer. If anybody has any question or any comment, please either you raise your hand, we will switch on microphone for you, or you may write your question or comment in the question and answer section. We do have about 15 minutes before we leave our professor for Maghrib prayer, inshallah. So if you have any question, we are ready to answer to
Well,
facilitate you.
while waiting, while waiting
Yes.
for the questions, I have a good experience in when I visited Nigeria in Africa and
Yes.
also South Africa. I visited Cape Town at that time, and I believe that the potential of the Waqf there in Africa is very huge. Also, it's very huge. So, but again, we need to think about because see the importance in developing Waqf lies on the Nazir. If the Nazir, the mindset of Nazir is very much traditional, then the Waqf, the development of Waqf will be very slow. So the Nazir in this context has to be equipped with the financial knowledge, right? So there is a 4-person raised hand. Maybe we give a chance for them to ask questions.
We switch our microphone for Brother Faisal. Brother Faisal, welcome.
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullahu khairan for this wonderful and informative discussion about Waqf innovation. And my question is for the doctor, is there any relationship between Waqf and Islamic cooperative, the Ta'awuniya? Can we have some innovative combination between Ta'awuniya and Awqaf?
Okay. Right. In the context of my example for the Waqf of fishermen, see the profit goes for social, right? The profit goes for the profit goes for the subsidizing the Quranic teacher or giving the basic need for the poor people or the old woman and so on. So in that context, we cannot use the Waqf, the principle of Waqf. See, this is the difference between Waqf and Zakat. And Zakat, when you pay Zakat, you can directly, the Amil, when they receive Zakat, they can go to help others directly with that principle. But when the Nazir received the Waqf asset in the form of cash or in the form of assets, let's say paddy field or maybe building, people donate building as a Waqf, the Nazir cannot use that money directly to help others. We need to generate this money first, and then the profit goes to help others. I hope this answered the questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prof, for your answer. Let's see, Brother El Kachir. I'm sorry if I misinterpret your name. Yes, we switch our microphone for you. Welcome, Brother El Kachir.
Yes, Brother El Kachir Fatih.
Let's see, Mr. Nasir Muhammad. Welcome, Mr. Nasir. Mr. Nasir, we switch
Yes,
your
sir.
microphone for you.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Yes, please.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum
warahmatullahi
assalam.
wabarakatuh.
Sir, thank you very much for your informative session. I have certain questions and maybe certain information, maybe it's going to be good for you and for all of us. First of all, we heard a lot about Kuwait Fund, Arab Fund, Islamic Bank, and so on. But I did not hear anything about Waqf Fund. What I mean is, where is the government and non-government centers that will, support Waqf not by donating the raya of awqaf, as much as investing the raya to make other awqafs work fine in a very different way, by what's so called cost benefit analysis, profit margin, and so on, or creating jobs or transferring technology. I wish if we have something like this in the Arab and Muslim world. As far as I know, we don't have this kind of mechanism within the Arab or Muslim world. The other thing is, while we are talking about Waqf, and we have, a government university, why don't you think of making Waqf out of the students? If we buy the Islamic insurance policies, which has the name of Waqf al-Sadaqa al-Jariyah, that each student and his parents can buy this kind of insurance policy to support the government or non-government universities by the usage of Waqf al-Sadaqa al-Jariyah to support the university. The other thing is, we made a study within Kuwait itself, based on how much do we have within the banks in Kuwait, the riba banks and Islamic banks. And we found out that we have about 52 billion dinars, which is equal to $170 billion. And either way, you will make some money out of it, either by the profit or the interest or riba, or by exerting the zakat on the money that is in the Islamic banks. From both sides, we can make around 2 billion dinars, $7 billion out of these banks. Why don't we do something similar in the Arab and Muslim world? Can you imagine how much that we have in front of us on our own hands without the support of the government or the private sector and so on? This is our money that is invested in these banks, and we have two choices. Either we have to pay zakat for whatever profit that we make in the Islamic banks, or by the riba or interest rate that we got from the banks. Try to imagine how we can transfer this kind of money into investment in the awqaf or in masarif al-zakat or something else. Besides that, why are we not talking about the al-khums that our Muslims, the Shiite Muslims, are paying? Why this money is not used for the benefit of Muslims? Why should we send it somewhere else? Why we can't do it and invest it in our own lands? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes, thank you very much, Brother Dr. Nasir. With regard to like Kuwait Finance House and others, I believe some of them has already operating Waqf, like Kuwait Waqf and so on. So also IRTI IDB also have a Waqf scheme, like in the APIF, Awqaf Property Investment Fund. So there is divisions within the IDB which operate, which utilize Waqf funds, right, to help others. And also, I do agree that there are potential in the context of, let's say, university, like have been mentioned by Brother Nazir. University is very strategic in the context of developing Waqf. Why? Because university, every year they have a new student. Every year they have a new parents. And this is the potential Waqf, right? And every year they graduated the students and they can become the alumni, right? If you recall the story of Harvard with their endowment fund, the MIT, Stanford, and so on, a lot of endowment fund. Actually, the endowment fund is similar to Waqf. It's just that the Waqf has a spiritual dimension. In the context of endowment fund, in the Harvard, Stanford, and so on, where does the money coming from? The money coming from the parents, the money coming from the alumni. Why the alumni wants to donate huge amount of money for their alma mater, for their for their school, because they now successful one. There are people who earn a lot of money. They owe much to the university, so they donate regularly to the Harvard Endowment Fund. And this Harvard Endowment Fund is so full of the finance people, full of business people who understand the financial portfolio. So when they receive regularly the money from their alumni, they will use this huge amount of money to to generate the profit through the stock exchange, to the real sector or other market, financial market, and they earn a lot of money, and the profit goes for scholarship and so on. So this idea is actually more or less the same if we learn the experience of Al-Azhar in Cairo. Al-Azhar in Cairo also have the Waqf property, and the profit goes for the scholarship for any people, Muslim in the world who wants to study in the Al-Azhar Cairo. I believe many of your friends, or maybe you yourself, has experience as a scholarship scheme by the Al-Azhar University, so that the transportation cost from your place to Cairo is borne by the university, your daily expenses, you got the monthly allowance, and the accommodation is free, and no tuition and so on. Where does the money coming from? It's from the Waqf. The Waqf in the context of Al-Azhar is in the agriculture, the dates, and also the palm oil and so on. That's the division, the business unit to support the university. Same thing goes for the Harvard University, Stanford. The business unit is not in the agriculture sector, but in the financial sector, right? So they are investing in the exchange rate, they're investing in the stock market and so on, and generate a lot of profit for the businessman. I hope I can. One important thing with regard to Waqf is that it is more on the political will by the Waqf. If the money has a certain amount of if the Waqf has a certain amount of money, and they want to generate the income, where do they want to put the money? In the Islamic country or in the non-Islamic country? So it depends on the Waqf, and this is goes back to the political will, the intention of the Waqf, where they want to put their money to. I hope I answered the questions.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your informative answer of the question. And I think we are about to conclude the session. On behalf of Nadil Iqtisad al-Islami, Jamiat al-Kuwait, would like to thank you very much, especially all the participants and professionals, lecturers who joined the session today. And there is one question from Brother Mizan: how to get the record of this session? All the lectures and talks are recorded in the YouTube channel of Nadil Iqtisad al-Islami. If you write in YouTube in Arabic, Nadil Iqtisad al-Islami, you will find all the lectures and talks there. So you may refer to YouTube channel of Nadil Iqtisad al-Islami. So we thank you very much, and we thank Nadil Iqtisad al-Islami also, University of Kuwait, and especially Dr. Ustad Al-Ubaid, who is the Director General of Islamic Economics Association, and all the management board members, and whoever supporting this Nadil Iqtisad al-Islami to carry on the lectures and the activities. Thank you very much. And before we conclude the session, I may invite Professor Dr. Raditya for your concluding remarks.
Thank you very much. My concluding remarks is that Allah has promised that Islam will win, but we don't know when. The important thing is that, are we going to be included as the person who contribute to that winning, are we considered by Allah as the person who make a contributions to the winning of the Islam later on? By Waqf, we hope it yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Nadal Iqtisad Islami, we would like to thank Professor Dr. RADITYA for your wonderful and informative session. And may Allah bless you. May Allah accept our all the efforts and all these activities for the Ummah. And also we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward us in this life and also in hereafter. Thank you all. With that, we conclude the session here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin, and
you,
all
Prof.
the panelists, all the participants here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. I'll leave, inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.